Hello, everyone. Mike Arnold here, co-founder, Pat Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacino. How's everyone doing? Good morning, Patrick. Good morning, Sterling. Thank you for putting the news in, Sterling. AT&T's results slightly disappointing. Netflix, people really liking the subscriber increase after their password sharing crackdown. So Gats, I think, is up 10% pre-market so far. Jake the Snake, good morning. How are you doing? What else do we have? Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, Heinrich. Good morning, Royal Palms. Apple's earnings to serve as a clearing event? Oh, what does this will allow investors to refocus on. Oh God, I'm so tired of this stuff. All right. Chipotle plans to hire 19,000 for this year's burrito season. When's burrito season? When is burrito season? Can somebody answer that to me? I thought burrito season's like all year. I mean, I can eat a burrito anytime during the year. Good morning, Legion Reaver. Big reversal in U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, and dollar index this morning. So, where do we go from here? All right, I was just getting through. My news feed's been weird this morning. So let's get back into things. We had the mortgage information out at 6 a.m. Since then, it's been quiet. We have 15 minutes after the cash open. We have the S&P Global Composite Manufacturing and Services Index, and still composite expected to be in still expansion. Manufacturing expected to still be in contraction, and services still expected to be in expansion. So we'll have to see. I'd be focusing on the composite and services to see if they fall more than expected. Other than that, we have the EIA numbers with crude pushing against key resistance. And then we got some auctions, some bill and note auctions. So, but the big thing is backloaded tomorrow, and well, we got Tesla earnings, which seems to be losing a little bit of luster with the market movement. But the big thing is we got GDP tomorrow, GDP PCE tomorrow, and unemployment figures, and then core PCE on Friday. So that's going to be the real telling to see if that's going to stop the market momentum. You see, there's AT&T down 3%. Where was Netflix up 10%? Disney, I guess, up 0.8 or 85 basis points in sympathy. Comcast also. But mega caps, chips still going higher. AMD, Intel, NVIDIA, Broadcom. What else do we have? We have the mega caps all positive this morning. Apple lagging. Visa positive. Remember, Visa earnings tomorrow. So we shall see. So far, comm services leading the way is basic material technology, consumer cyclical. Everything positive today, though, going into the cash open so far. Fed watch tool. We have pause in January. Remember that meeting in 7 days, 4 hours, 52 minutes. So, and then we're back to cut. One cut and then a pause, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more cuts. So, again, markets seeing even it was at pause, now it's back to pause, cut, and then 6 cuts total this year. Market's still aggressively pricing in cuts. We're almost back to extreme greed. PE, Schiller PE, 32.74. We already saw ASML and their guidance was also this 2024, but 2025 things will get better. So that's what they said. Netflix strong subscriber growth yesterday. Today, Tesla earnings after the close. Tomorrow, we got Intel and Visa after the close. That's the biggies then. So keep an eye on that. All right. What else do we have? Burrito season is March from. Why is it March to May? Why is burrito season March to May? Can somebody explain that to me? I never knew that. But what happens after the May? You don't eat burritos? Like after Cinco de Mayo, you stop eating burritos? What? I mean, I don't know. That was probably not the politically correct thing to say. I don't know. Good morning, Anissa. So let's see. Seems like a consumer could care less about inflation. They want what they want regardless until people start losing their jobs. I don't see things changing. Well, now what's the latest polling been? Inflation is now second. It's dropped below. Everybody in this country is concerned about immigration. So there we go. All right. Did I miss anybody? Every day is burrito season in Southern California. There you go, Jacob. There you go. Maybe I'm going to get back into the warmth when every day is burrito season then, too. MJ, buy the rumor, sell the Cinco de Mayo news. So we're gonna buy CMG Chipotle. We're gonna buy it now and sell it on Cinco de Mayo. There we go. That's our new strategy. Or do we have to wait till March to technically buy it? All right. Well, everybody's buying everything this morning. We're up against the next key area, this 49.22 to 49.31.50. If it gets to 49.31.50, 49.47. And then we get 49.70 area. But we're seeing if there's any topping pattern. Not really. You had a flattened out double that just kept marching higher. So key support today is roughly 4,900, right around that area. So any pullback, I'd be watching about 48.97 to 4,900. Other than this has a pretty strong magnet. Now, we could see if this keeps on marching higher and the GDP or PCE prints don't disrupt it, it's really wanting to get to that 5K. But we have very, very highly overbought conditions again. Last time we were overbought, we only had a sideways correction so far on the 4-hour. On the daily, same thing. We had a sideways correction. Now we're back to very overbought at a cycle top again. And weeklies are hitching back up. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. We couldn't even get a full cycle in on the weeklies. There's just an obscene amount of buying pressure. Now the weeklies, we're getting a pretty significant possible divergence setup. So do keep an eye on that. But even if you broke below 4,900, I'm not talking today because I don't see anything major unless some random news comes out that's very disruptive to the markets. I don't see anything, even if we were to pull back to take it below 4,900, which means we'll probably have something happen. But the key next support area would be about 48.61 to 48.70, which doesn't even take us back down to the breakout resistance. This market really wants to tag 5K, though. We'll have to see if that can happen next week or it's going to need a pullback. NASDAQ, same thing here. Next area, 17,741, and then the major area, 17,900 or 17,920 roughly. The support, remember also NASDAQ's getting insanely overbought, getting back to daily cycle tops, but that does not mean it has to stop. It means, from my perspective, that I view my trailing, it gets a little more aggressive and prepared for a possible bigger reversal, but there's no key topping pattern yet. The key pullback level is about 17,560 to 17,658. Really is about 17,580. 17,560, 17,580. So, but if it breaks out in the open, 17,741, it's getting little ahead of itself, but then the major support levels back at 17,350. 17,350 doesn't even take us to the last breakout level. The Dow, so far just breaking out, basing above the little breakout level. We do have The only one that has a potential reversal pattern going into the open is the Dow. You can see it right there. Qualifies. That does not mean it ever has to trigger, but that's what it is. Could take it back, on the aggressive targets to 37,650 at the most. Now remember, that would take it back into consolidation. It's against the rotation zone, so you don't need to be repeat that that's a lower probability to get to all the targets. But that does not mean it ever has to trigger. It's the only thing I'll be watching onto the open with the Dow. Other than that, the next major target, 38,552. Russell also has a potential reversal trigger pattern between the 50 and the 62% retracement harmonics, which is the major reversal zone. Now, it would need to get a 4-hour close below 1980 to trigger. Other than that, the key next target is 2024.9. A close above that, we could then see, especially a daily close above that, some continued upward pressure on the Russell. Remember, the Russell's been the one lagging. Russell getting to cycle tops, not yet overbought. So today, if it does continue to rally, very key with that 2025 area roughly. Keep an eye on that. So that's what I'm watching on the Russell. The VIX breaking back down. Again, we're in sell vol. Sell vol, buy it all. Hold on one second. We're back in the selling of volatility and just buying everything. Let's see if this channel, I'm going to be watching it. We closed below it yesterday. Let's just see if the channel is sort of officially broken. And I want to see, though, how it reacts to this 1235 area. Because so far, besides the little dip below that in mid-December, that's been key support. That's been key support for volatility. Now we're going into that area with the GDP numbers coming out tomorrow. So that's going to be very interesting. Actually, just going to pull this off for now. The DAX breaking out of the channel. So far, no reversal that I was watching for. So now going to be watching for this 17,120 area retest. And if the DAX breaks higher, this is a great area to use the reverse harmonics. 17,205, 17,288 are the key levels. If it can break above the high from the 2nd of January. Notes, we're getting a little easing up in the notes. Looking like it's want to break higher with the yields. Trying to turn down, but so far we are in a pretty significant still back and forth consolidation pattern. The yields really have to break below about this 4.075 area to really break out of this pattern to the downside and break above 4.15. Not expecting it going into the key numbers, but that's what I'm keeping an eye on. Other than that, it's still just consolidating. 10-2s, slight bounce up in here, but still holding the key support. Nothing to report there. Dollar index, which invalidated the double yesterday, and then the reversal happens. And then the reversal. So, key support dollar index. This is a lot of pressure. I'm going to be keeping an eye to see if how this does with the support zone about 102.20 to 102.30 area. If it starts breaking below 102.20 over the next day or so, then we could easily be seeing a shift in the short term in the dollar index. Crude. Here's what I'm watching. We got the EIA numbers coming out, but we've had some resistance. You can see the resistance selling up here against this key resistance. Still that 75, and then it's really got to plow through 75.50. We get through 75.50 with some momentum. 77.80 to 78 is the next key level. It's chipping away at this level. Even recently, higher lows. I mean, we were not there, but look, we're higher low. Yeah, higher low. This day just dipped below it, but then we're trying to squeeze it up. So I'd be watching. Now that would be sort of off the table at least today if we get back down below 74. Not much going on in natty gas. Little bounce there. Gold still in consolidation. Gold's trying to build a little base here in the short term. So I'm going to be watching to see if that 2040 level. What else do we have? The yen, big reversal here. Big reversal here. Going to be watching coming into support about 146.19, 146.20. It's a very key area for the yen. Euro trying to break out to the upside, but the next key resistance is about 109.60 area. I'm going to be watching to see how it closes today, whether it closes above yesterday's high. Whether it closes above yesterday's high. The spiders. We have the gap up, 487.75, above 487.57. So 487.57 would be my key first support on any pullback. Then I'd use 486, and then it would be to the gap fill to 484.86. The next target, 489.92. That's all that we need to talk about there. The Qs, gap up, 427.26. Next target, 428.40. And then a major target area, 430.56 to 432.07. Right now, there isn't a lot of great support. There's no great support back until about 425, and then it would be to the gap fill to 423.48. So I'd have to watch intraday price action for that. Well, you'll have to remind me on the 5th of May to wish you a happy birthday, Jacob. What else do we have going on? Yeah, I know. It's absurd. We don't have a border anymore. Let's glance at Adobe real quick. Adobe. Let me see. Yeah, that's fine on the weekly. So that will be interesting. That'll be interesting to see if Adobe. Yep. If Adobe, thank you for pointing that out, can trigger that or not. That's going to be interesting. When Adobe's earnings, again, they were out of the way. They reported when? Back in December, and they don't report again till middle of March. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Other stocks, Tesla going into earnings this afternoon. On any pump play, I'm keeping an eye. We don't have any percent B buy setups now. We did that never triggered, and we don't anymore. So I'll be watching above about 218 because there's a gap left behind, which would be the upper end of the rotation zone. So that's all I'm keeping an eye on before another probable rollover play there. NVIDIA, little pullback. The next target, if it gets through, looks like it's gapping again through that 600, 622.50 area. Everything's just marching on higher, getting to insane overbought levels. What else do we have here? Oops, sorry, I didn't take that off. Sorry about that. Can I go over long-term stop positions for gold? Sure. Long-term stop positions for gold, from my perspective right now, are 1820. Now, if you want really long-term, that's my longer term because I'd be looking to then rebuild a position lower. But if you want really long-term, if you're in this for, hey, I'm willing to take a bigger pullback, it would be 1460 from my perspective. But, if we start getting back below 1820, which we came like before, and we came back down here, got into, because this was the prior high before this last push up. We came between 50 and 62 and then rallied back up. So now the new level, See, that would take us below the 62.5 would take us not only below the key low from October before the last run up, it would take us below the 62.5, which we know how important that is, and below even the 200. And a fair way below the 200. So that's the level that I am watching. Okay, on a closing basis. But if you want the other bigger level, it would be all the way back to 1460. That's the key level I think is very important, though. I hope that makes sense why. But that's a good question, Jake. Boeing misinstalled the piece that blew off Alaska. Wow, interesting. Somebody who used to be on the channel who used to trade Boeing all the time. I forgot. They don't show up anymore, sadly enough. Maybe I disappointed them. I'm surprised Boeing isn't getting hit more. I'm surprised. But I mean, this would not be a safe stock from my perspective. Sent you the first draft, Mike. I think I got most of it in, but could possibly use a few final details. I'll take a look. Thank you. You're welcome, Jake. William, thank you. MJ remembers it was William. Why doesn't William show up? I hope William's okay. I even hope Coco. I mean, where's Coco? Where is Coco? We've been on a run. Coco should be saying NASDAQ 20,000 guaranteed. Coco doesn't even have to call. I will say it for him. 20,000 guaranteed by Coco. Oh, well. That's about it today. Apple's really lagging. Let's see. ES 4-hour inverse head and or SI. Sorry. Couldn't read there. SI 4-hour inverse. That's not in my book. Silver breaking out. So I'd be watching again now this 22.95 level to see if that holds. But you're into the rotation zone, which is so far not held. So what you really want to see is a closing basis from my perspective of about 23.20. So this is not a strong inverse head and shoulders. Cocoa Bottom Island. Oh. Okay. Nikki Haley is clearly a Democrat. I actually agree. Did you see the amount of people that were not Republicans that voted for her last night in the New Hampshire primary? And she will not drop out. So, interesting. The real question is, who are they going to swap Biden out for? Who are they swapping Biden out for? And this isn't a political channel, but I'm curious because I mean, I would be shocked if Biden makes it all the way into the voting next year or this year. I'm still thinking Michelle Obama, but we shall see. It's going to be such an interesting year. So, with that, let's take a look at the S&P going into the open, seeing if anything's setting up. All right, let's take a look. Yep, qualifies. So the key low on at least a 15-minute closing basis, unless there's momentum below 419.18. That's the only thing I'll be watching. Where could that potentially take us? And again, I'd use conservative targets based off the right-hand side for that because it's against every rotation zone. I mean, look at this. So that's the only thing. And just actually takes us down to look at that the spike low at 4 a.m. You know, the European, just after European Open spike lows. So that's a little something to watch going into the Open. All right. Michelle Obama. Don't say 2025. Big Mike. What is this? What was this? I had to allow your last comment to post YouTube in the tank for. Jeez. Boy. You know what? I'm not saying it. This. Everything's a joke. This country, you know, we got to get our heads out of our butt. That's all I'm saying. Because it's just not good. All right, we'd have to adjust the targets now. So it's still potentially a double going into the Open. So just use the conservative targets. I'm just anchoring it there if it does reverse. Let's just see where the tick opened. The tick, 5-minute tick. Ooh, very strong tick. Very, very strong tick. Wow. That's literally, we ran up to the highest tick since November 14th. That was the highest tick open. So I'm going to be watching that key 800 level to see how it holds around there. But that is a, oh, come on. Here we go with the lag. All right, we still got a potential double, so keep an eye on this. With that, I am jumping off into the Open. I will see everyone tomorrow. Have a wonderful trading day. Bye for now. I am trying. I tried to do a stream there this morning. I keep getting errors. I have to work on this. I tried actually to do something on Rumble, and I might, if I can get a additional stream working on an account I have there, I will let people know and they can tune in there. You won't be able to comment easily for me to see it, though. And I've not been able to get Rumble Studio working yet. So, if anybody wants to help me with testing, let me know. I will talk to everyone later. Bye for now.